Welcome to the Hard Time Podcast. I'm Jake, motherfucker welder. I'm a sergeant in a jail in the American Southwest. I'm your host, and today with me for a special episode is Madge. So she's my partner in crime. Not really, but
I
she's
wish I could be. Sorry.
she's my partner in not crime. So she's joining me today for a special episode. We're going to be talking about women's issues in jail. So she's going to give us the women's perspective on a couple stories that we're going to read, we're going to talk about. And she doesn't have, she doesn't work in a jail, but she's just going to give us the women's perspective on a couple of these stories. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Madge.
Hi, I'm Madge. I'm with this beautiful man. We just celebrated 9 years together, and he has been in corrections the entirety of our relationship. And I couldn't be more proud. He works really, 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 really hard. So
yeah, and this week, like I said, I don't know when this episode's going to drop. So we're recording this in the evening. This is Hard Time After Dark. We're going to record this as a bonus episode that's going to drop at some point. Not sure when, but we're going to drop it as a bonus episode for you guys at some point. So
I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this.
So it is October, and we're going to, as of this recording, and we're going to, like I said, talk about women's issues and stuff. As far as what's going on at the jail, we've had a lot of women's issues. We have a lot of. We can't seem to keep our numbers down as far as female inmates. We get rid of one, and it seems like two come in. So a lot of our numbers are up, and they've been having a lot of problems, a lot of disciplinary actions and stuff with them. So they just seem to be having a tough time. So
I just feel like in this community, especially, it feels like there are a lot of really young girls going through a lot of terrible things, and those things are not getting recognized in the appropriate amount of time. And so these girls are just getting failed continuously, and then it's up to the sergeants and the officers to, and it's really based off of family failure, in my opinion.
Yeah, so we have like one right now that's been like hopping different states. She got picked up in another state that has charges here, and she's actually from another state nearby. So she has like 3 different states involved in her case, and another one like her, as far as her family issues. Issues with her parents are like deeply involved because she's looking at trying to get some of her stuff resolved in her case. Like her parents have to like work on stuff in order for her to get released. So the judge is working on some of that.
So one of the cases, or one of the people that were actually in the jail, she was over at the shelter area, and Jake motherfucking Welder and I had agreed, like, we actually kind of like had some really great feelings about it. We were like, when in doubt, if there was ever a chance, like later in our lives, we would take these children that are just literally dropped off at the other end of the system and adopt them as our own, because not everybody's story is because they're a criminal. It's because they're the adults failed them. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, there's there's quite a few that, yeah, have a lot of issues. So
Yeah. And it's not their fault. Well, yeah,
some,
kids can be stubborn, but like when you have a failed system, a failed thing, it's it's not necessarily their fault.
and sometimes it's all their damn fault. So.
And sometimes it's all their fucking fault.
So one of the first stories here that we'll get into, it's all this woman's fault. She's trying to get out of it, trying to get her sentence reduced and stuff. She's asking for mercy now, of course, reconsideration. Even though she pled guilty, she admitted to her crime, and now she, trying to walk things back. So this is comes from News 4, Jacksonville, out of Jacksonville, Florida. I don't see a credit for the. This is from Eric Wallace, senior producer for Jacksonville.
Okay.
Says convicted of kidnapping baby Kamaya Mobley, Gloria Williams continues to push for a reduced prison sentence. Williams was convicted in 2018 of the 1998 kidnapping of newborn Kamaya Mobley.
Jesus.
Jacksonville, Florida. The woman who admitted to kidnapping Kamaya Mobley when she was a baby is now awaiting an evidentiary hearing for a motion for post-conviction relief. Gloria Williams pleaded guilty in 2018 to the 1998 kidnapping of a baby from a Jacksonville hospital. She was sentenced to 18 years prison, 1 year for every year Mobley was without her biological family.
Fuck yeah. But still, fuck.
Williams, who admitted to the kidnapping and raising Mobley as her own, has asked the court to reconsider her case several times. She's appealed her sentence, asked for a reduction to her sentence twice, and now wants the judge to throw out judgment and sentence.
The audacity of this bitch. Sorry, that's just my plain, honest, the audacity.
And start over. Williams says her attorneys didn't investigate her mental health. She argues her and her counsel didn't ask for a hearing or decide if she was incompetent to proceed. She says her counsel didn't prepare a defense, which gave her no option to take a plea. An amended motion that Williams filed in June 2024 argues she could be allowed to withdraw her plea and ask for evidentiary hearing to be scheduled.
Jesus fucking Christ. So this bitch, why was she in the hospital in the first place?
I believe she was born.
No, not the baby, the fucking lady.
Oh, to steal babies? I don't know.
Okay. So I want to know, first and foremost, I know this is back in the day, and like nowadays, especially when I was having kids, they tell you specifically the second your baby leaves your body, they're like, all the nurses have pink badges, blah, 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 blah. What was this bitch even doing in the hospital? First and foremost, did she work there, or was she just like casually wandering? Like, you got a uterus, make your own fucking baby. What the fuck?
Okay, well, the article will get into more.
All right, let's go.
On Wednesday, Circuit Court Judge Jeb T. Branham signed an order allowing the Public Defender's Office to withdraw as attorney for Williams to be relieved of any further responsibility in the case after declaring a conflict. The Public Defender's Office previously represented Williams during a 2018 appeal. She was represented by a private attorney from her arrest through her sentencing. Victoria Welsh, with the Office of the Regional Conflict Counsel, was appointed to represent Williams, who is currently serving her sentence at Lowell Correction Institution Annex in Ocala.
Where's Ocala? Sorry, that's
Ocala's in Florida.
okay.
It's another part of Florida.
That's just a Madge question because I always want to know.
News for Jacksonville requested additional court documents to find out more about the conflict with the public defender's office. We're also working to find out when the evidentiary hearing will take place.
I have a question. Can we stop? Not recording, but so the mother that birthed the child, she had to leave empty-handed? Or
apparently.
The fuck? All right, go ahead.
18-year-old secret unravels. During the sentencing hearing, Williams said she didn't tell Kamira her true identity until Kamira discovered she couldn't get a driver's license because she didn't have a valid birth certificate or social security card. In January 2017, police announced they had found Mobley in South Carolina living under the name Alexis Manigo. Kamira's abduction became subject of a Lifetime movie, Stolen by My Mother, the Kamira Mobley story.
Jesus.
Williams admitted she took Kamira from the hospital at a time when her life was spiraling out of control. Williams said she was coping with depression and an abusive relationship.
And so you stole a fucking baby? Get a dog.
She also apologized to Kamira and the girl's biological parents at the sentencing, saying if she could go back in time, she would not have taken the baby.
Lies.
Mobley's biological father released this statement about the motion. She, Williams, can keep trying to do what she can to get out of it. I'll do whatever I can to keep her in there.
Oh, sweet Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, all right. So first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, the fuck. No. Like, I'm incredibly grateful for this day and age's security process for babies. We've had 3 babies and they all have wristbands and they all have specific numbers and everybody is supposed to have a specific badge and such on. No. And so on and so forth. And the fact of the matter that this happened and that poor couple had to leave the hospital without a baby. Also, this is a Black couple, might I add, and I just want to raise awareness to the fact that even in this day and age right now, African American women suffer all the time with childbirth. They often die more often than Caucasian women and white women. And the fact that that woman went through hell and back and probably had a natural birth and then had to leave the hospital without a child and then had to wonder where that child was for 18 years, and then that's horrific. It's astronomically just fucked up. Another note that I would like to say is hold on. Another note that I would like to say is how that must have destroyed her and her husband. Like, how could you even feel comfortable about going about having more children? It's just fucked up. It's not cool. That's not okay. Kind of looks like you have my arm. I have your arm. That's not okay. That's not okay. And then you have to think about that child who's not a child anymore. And this was the case a long time ago. This is now a full grown person who has hopefully adjusted to society accordingly. And how much trauma she's dealing with because of that, because she learned to love somebody that she thought was her mother from the from being a newborn. And now, like I wonder, like, is she reconnected with her birth parents? And like, that's crazy. But no matter any circumstance that you're going to go through in life, just fucking jump off a fucking bridge. Don't steal a baby. Don't steal a baby. What the fuck is wrong with you? Not cool. And those are my thoughts on that. And if somebody stole my baby and it was even 18 years later, I bet your ass I'd be fucking that bitch up so hard. And this is Madge and motherfucker Welder Jake.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting reconsideration. I think the judge, doing 18 years was pretty thoughtful with that
I was lenient.
Judgment. I don't think he's going to give reconsideration for that. She's barking up the wrong tree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fucked up. That is so fucked up.
Okay. Another story that we can get into. This is from Associated Press by Marlon Gonzalez. This is back in June 2023. This is in Honduras. A grisly riot at a women's prison in Honduras left at least 41 women dead, most burned to death in violence at the country's
Burned?
yes, the country's president blamed on the Mara street gangs that often wield broad power inside penitentiaries. So this is 41 women die at a riot in Honduran prison that president blames on Mara prison gangs.
That's awful.
26 of the victims were burned to death, and the remainder shot or stabbed in the prison in Tamara, about 30 miles or 50 kilometers northwest of the Honduran capital, said Yuri Mora, the spokesperson for Honduras National Police Investigation Agency. At least 7 inmates were being treated at the hospital. The foreign teams are removing bodies, and they confirm they've counted 41. Video clips shown by the government from inside the prison showed several pistols and a heap of machetes and other bladed weapons that were found after the riot. Honduran President Xiomara Castro said the riot was planned by the Maras with the knowledge and acquiescence of security authorities.
I have a question. Were they stabbed by the other people around them, or was this the fault of the guards?
It said
Because either way, it's horrific. But like, was it just like a?
It's saying it was planned by the prison gangs. So it was planned by the prison gangs, and they're saying that the security officials may have been aware of what was
so they let it happen. Basically, they were just basically asking for a woman apocalypse.
Yeah. Jesus. The quote says, "I'm going to take drastic measures," Castro wrote in her social media accounts. Prisoners belonging to the feared Barrio 18 gang reportedly burst into a cell block and shot other inmates or set them afire.
Oh my God. Jesus fuck.
Relatives awaited.
You have to be a sick fuck to set somebody on fire.
Well, and imagine rival prisoners from another gang or cell block shooting each other inside a jail.
They basically just wanted like the apocalypse to happen in a close quarters kind of situation.
Yeah, that's some law-abiding citizen shit. Not
the law-abiding citizenship. Doesn't that have a Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
Ah.
Relatives awaiting news about inmates gathered outside the morgue in
A word we can't
Tegucigalpa.
describe because it's fucking weird.
Well, I got it, but you talked over me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tegucigalpa.
He's good at that.
They confirmed that inmates in the prison had told them they lived in fear of the Barrio 18 gang. Johanna Paula Soriano Esuda was waiting for news about her mother, Maribel Esuida, and her sister, Carla Soriano. Both were on trial for drug trafficking, but were held in the same area as convicted prisoners. She said that they told her Sunday night they, Barrio 18 members, were out of control. They were fighting with them all the time. That was the last time they talked.
Yeah.
Another group of dozens of anxious, angry relatives gathered outside the prison, located in a rural area about 20 miles or 30 kilometers from the capital.
Yeah.
We are here dying of anguish of pain. We don't have any information, said Salomon Garcia, whose daughter was an inmate at the facility. Asucencia Martinez, whose daughter was also being held at the prison, said, "There are a lot of dead, 41 already. We do not know if our relatives are also in there dead." Julissa Villanueva, head of the country's prison system, suggested the riot started because of recent attempts by authorities to crack down on illicit activity inside the prisons, and called Tuesday's violence a reaction to moves we are taking against organized crime. "We will not back down," Villanueva said in a televised address after the riot. Gangs wield broad control inside the country's prisons, where inmates often set their own rules and sell prohibited goods. There, they also apparently are able to.
What does that mean? Sorry to stop you. Prohibited goods. Like, that's like drugs?
Drugs, guns, any type of contraband.
Okay.
So they, they can get a hold of contraband inside the jail because they hold.
Because they're dirty over there. Not dirty like dirty people. Like they allow a lot more to happen than a regular jail.
Yeah, because they hold influence because they pay people off. They were also apparently able to smuggle in guns and other weapons, a recurring problem in Honduran prisons. The issue is to prevent people from smuggling in drugs, grenades, and firearms.
Jesus, grenades?
Said the Honduran human rights expert Joaquin Mejia. Today's events show that they have not been able to do that.
Imagine if you didn't like that bitch next to you and you got a grenade and you're just like, yeet, and just tossed a grenade in her fucking, into her cell.
Well, that's one way to do cell and body checks. You just like clear a room by using grenades.
You're just like, fuck you, Jessica. Oh, and then just tossed it in there, and then like your wall blows out and her fucking cell door blows out, and like you're all free and Jessica's dead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, like if I want to clear a room, I just throw a grenade in there and I think it's clear.
Yeah, you fuck around and find out.
The riot appears to be the worst tragedy at a female detention center in Central America since 2017, while girls at a shelter for troubled youth in Guatemala was set fire to.
To what?
To mattresses to protest rapes and other mistreatment at the badly overcrowded institution. The ensuing smoke and fire killed 41 girls. It's interesting. It's number 41 every single time. The worst prison disaster in a century also occurred in Honduras in 2012 at the Comanguaya Penitentiary, where 361 inmates died in a fire. 361 inmates died in a fire.
Christ.
Possibly caused.
Are they all locked in their fucking cells? Like, what the fuck? How does that many people die in
I can explain what happened. Caused by a match, cigarette, or some other open flame. Tuesday's riot may increase the pressure on Honduras to emulate the drastic zero tolerance, no privileges prison set up in neighboring El Salvador by President Nayib Bukele, which we've discussed on the show before. While El Salvador's crackdown on gangs has given rise to rights violations, it has also proved immensely popular in a country's long terrorized by street gangs. So
that's so
yeah, you don't have
fucked. How does that many people die in a fire? They absolutely had to have been
locked in,
and then they just didn't care to let them out. Like, that's just, wouldn't you consider that like manslaughter? Or
yeah, they just had a case in Texas. They had a inmate that set a mattress on fire, and they had a lieutenant and a sergeant that so they were trying to insist that he put his hands through the cuff port and cuff up before they removed him from the cell that with the mattress that was on fire. And
they really went to that extent. They're like, cuff
yeah,
up, even though your cell's on fire.
Yeah, so he was in there with the flaming mattress, which was eating up the oxygen for over an hour until he asphyxiated and died.
Wait, explain that further. Did they cuff him up and then they just left him in there, or
No, he refused to cuff up, so they left him in there, and he died of asphyxiation.
Oh, that's one fucking way.
And that's
one fucking way to go.
It's one way to end a career, and you end up going.
Did the officers get it in trouble for that because they didn't?
It was a lieutenant and a sergeant that was in charge.
And they didn't just open the fucking thing and cuff him and drag him out?
And they got charged with, it's called deliberate indifference. So they ended up getting charged with, I believe they ended up getting charged with not murder, but
homicide. No,
it was like criminal negligence.
Because like, are you not man enough to go in there and fucking just tackle him and drag him out? No, you just watched him asphyxiate.
Yeah, apparently.
The fuck? That's fucked up. That is so fucked up.
Yeah. So that's an example from the States of the same kind of thing going on, where you can deliberate indifference. You have to be able to act.
Where is the acting? Where is like the force of the force of charge, like going in and being like, no, you're getting the fuck out of here, versus, oh no, I'm just gonna let you sit here and fucking asphyxiate. I can't say that word.
Asphyxiate.
And we're just gonna like wait. Were they like sitting out there watching? No, because you're just a pack of fucking pussies. Not everybody in the fucking law enforcement world is made for this law enforcement world, and so they just do the bare minimum, and then somebody fucking dies in their cell while they're like, well, we could have done something, but we're not gonna, because it would be I don't want to tarnish my shoes. What a pack of pussies.
Okay, so we'll get into another story here that affects women's rights. Here's a convicted German transgender right-wing extremist to serve time in a women's prison.
You really picked this one? I'm going to be real honest with y'all.
Marla Svenja Liebig, previously known as Sven Liebig, has been convicted of right-wing extremist activities, including incitement of hatred, and is due to start a prison sentence soon. The public prosecutor's office in Halle has summoned Liebig to appear at Chemnitz prison. Liebig published a corresponding summons to start his sentence in a post on platform X. According to current plans, Liebig will initially be held in a prison for women. The background to this is a corresponding self-disclosure of gender identity based on the new regulations of Self-Determination Act, which came into force in November last year. The reformed act makes it possible for gender identity to be means of a personal declaration.
Okay, pause there. If you're, how do I word this correctly without giving a fuck? If you are sick enough to think that you're a female, even though you have a dick, and then you get put into a cell block with female, if you are sick enough to do the first, then you could be probably sick enough to procreate with the other women. It hindsight, impregnate a woman even though you're transgender. The fuck? You have a dick. Go to the fucking male jail.
Yeah.
You have a dick. You have a fucking dick. You have a dick. I don't care how many hormones you're on. You shouldn't be placed with a female. That is endangerment, first of all. That is disgusting, second of all. And it shouldn't matter. You're in jail. It shouldn't matter whether or not you have a dick or a vagina. Sorry, I was tapping on the desk. It shouldn't matter. You have a dick, go to the male jail. You shouldn't be in there with women. It just doesn't fucking work like that.
Warnings about abuse of the new self-declaration law. Since the coalition government's plans for the new law became known, concerns have repeatedly been raised about the possible abuse. During the election campaign, CDU/CSU clearly took up the issue. Andrea Lindholtz, then deputy chairman of the CDU/CSU parliamentary group, declared in April last year the coalition had lost its way with this law. The coalition agreement signed by the SPD and CDU/CSU in May last year merely stated that the Self-Determination Act would be reviewed by July 31st, 2026 at the latest.
Sorry.
I gotta lean forward into this. During the coalition negotiations, the CDU, and SPD, it was therefore not dealt with in the Justice Working Group, but by the negotiators for the, quote, family department. According to the German tabloid Bild, however, no agreement could be reached, and there was on how to deal with the law. The issue was therefore referred back to the party leaders. The result was merely a vague formulation in the coalition agreement. In quotes, clear criteria. As Benedikt Bernsen, spokesperson for the prosecutor's office in Halle, explained to the German public broadcaster, the decision on placement is now based on two clear criteria. The officially registered gender, in Marla Svenja Liebig's case female, and the registered place of residence, as in this case Saxony. The local enforcement plan there applies, which provides for the female prisoners to be detained in Chemnitz prison. However, the Saxon Ministry of Justice emphasized the local daily Mitteldeutsche,
Which country is this?
Germany, Zittlung, that additional psychological or medical reports can be used in certain cases. These include, for example, if there is suspicion that someone may have deliberately changed their gender entry in order to influence the prison conditions.
Oh, the audacity.
In July 2023, Liebig was sentenced to 1.5 years imprisonment without probation by the Halle District Court. The sentence included incitement of hatred, insult, and defamation. Appeals by both Liebig and the public prosecutor's office failed before the Halle District Court. Liebig has changed gender and first name by making a simple declaration to the registry office in Northwest Saxony. So, yeah, he rocking a handlebar mustache here and tattoos.
Oh my god, that really is a picture?
Yeah.
What in the actual fuck?
Just, yeah.
All of it.
Rocking a handlebar mustache, All he
The
had to do,
leopard, the handlebar mustache. He might as. What is that one motherfucker that's like all jacked and he used to like get people for like jail things. And he had the mullet.
I don't know. I don't know. He looks like he's got like the Hulk Hogan looking drag.
That's
here.
what I'm looking at. Why? Why? No, no. This is a predator. This is a predator. This isn't a guy trying to be a woman. There are plenty of people that go out there and they're like, yeah, I'm a guy, but I want to look like a girl. And I know that I am a man and but I still want to look like a girl, but I'm normal. I just watched a video on it today. But then there are these sick fucks that like still want to be a girl and then they end up going to jail and it's like that is like serial killer predator times 10. That's not normal. It's not fucking normal. It will never be normal. No.
Some Ed Gein cross-dressing shit.
Well, Ed, at least fucking right. But at least Ed Gein knew he was a guy. Ed Gein still appreciated his dick. Like he just liked the femininity. Is that a word? He liked being feminine, but he still knew he had a fucking dick, and he was okay with that. That is like the complete fucking opposite. That is like, I'm a girl and I identify as a girl and I'm gonna go to jail and then I'm gonna fucking destroy everybody else's life in front of me. That's way deeper than Ed Gein.
Okay.
By the way, I was talking about Dog the Bounty Hunter because like that mustache, like he wasn't even attempting to be a woman. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you have your cheap ass hat on and your stupid glasses and your leopard, but you still have this giant handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Looking like the Tiger King in drag.
I think Tiger King is drag. Oh my god, it's so fucking disturbing to look at. Like what? No.
Well, that's the thumbnail for the episode.
No, it's just so bad. It's so incredibly creepy. I would punch that person square in the fucking face if I ever saw them. Are you here to buy tomatoes? Not today.
Okay, and this will be a shorter episode, but we're gonna get into one last story here. This woman here, KTTC. This was by Caitlin Alexander from Rochester, Minnesota. Woman convicted of daycare assault.
Jesus. God, I'm gonna get angry about this one. I'm sorry. I kicked the table.
Woman convicted of daycare assault to be sentenced in jail assault. So, Adriana Newbern, 27, pleaded guilty to third-degree assault, previously convicted.
Third degree?
Yeah, third-degree assault, previously convicted of daycare assault, previously sentenced to 8 years in prison. Is facing another charge.
I'm gonna get real angry about this one, so just hold on to your fucking pantaloons.
Rochester, Minnesota. The woman convicted of attacking a toddler with a pizza cutter at a Rochester daycare, who then reportedly assaulted someone in jail, is preparing for her sentencing. Adriana Newbern, 27, so she's 27 and she's already facing 8 years in jail.
Good fucking rot there.
Submitted paperwork to plead guilty to a third-degree assault on August 25th. This stems from a July 2nd altercation with an Olmsted County Adult Detention Center when Newbern got into a verbal argument with another detainee. Newbern reportedly approached the other detainee and hit her in the face with a tablet. Monday, she had a virtual hearing in Olmsted County Court. Her sentencing for her jail assault is scheduled for October 27th. In August,
this year?
Sorry. Yes, in August, a judge sentenced her to 8 years in prison for her daycare assault. Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. It's a very brief story, but yeah. So she attack.
And this is why I'm a stay-at-home mother, because I can't fucking trust anyone with my fucking children, because bet your ass I'm going to come in there swinging. You assault my child with a pizza cutter or anything at all. Anything at all. I'm going to fucking end you. And I'm going to make sure that I get the footage to make sure that I can watch it back to back. Because I will fucking end you. I will beat your ass until you're bloody and blue. Yeah, because what the fuck is that? A daycare teacher? My babies are 5, 4, and almost 3. Like, well, they're almost 5, almost 4, almost 3. But no. No. Absolutely fucking not. No. I will fucking end you. I will fucking rip you from piece to piece with my own hands until someone stops me. And if somebody doesn't stop me, but then I guess that was just your luck that day. Cause don't fuck with my kids. Don't fuck with any kids. I used to be a daycare teacher for like 5.5 years. I raised just so many children. So many fucking children. And now that I am a mom myself, yeah, I will fuck you up. And if I'm not gonna fuck you up, he's gonna fuck you up. And you don't want him to fuck you up because he's really strong and really, you know. But yeah, no, this is like in this world, it's so crazy that these people just think that they can just do whatever, and they come into these like things. They're like, oh well, I was raised like this, so I'm gonna whip their ass. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're there to teach them colors, shapes, and how to write their name, feed them a fucking 3 square meals a day, and fucking teach them how to tie shoes and play outside. There's an airplane in the sky. Touch my child, and I will fucking end you. I will fucking end you. I will.
Yeah, there's never a reason to.
There is never a reason. That is not your job. That is not your job to discipline them, to, like, yes, you're supposed to say, like, hey, buddy, you maybe shouldn't do that. Like, we need to be nice to your friends. Can we please just try again better? Stuff like that. If you're putting hands on my children because they're being a child, they're being a little child, which is a sponge, which means they're just learning every single day. You're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there. Like, no. You're there to teach them, to educate them. You're not there to discipline them in more ways than you would think. And I would kill a motherfucker. So watch your backs. Anyways, guys, this has been really awesome. And thank you again for having me, Jake Motherfucker Welder. This is Madge. I've been very happy to be here, even though I messed up a bunch of times because he's very anal and he was like, listen to this. You're setting the cup down too loud. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Anyways, this has been really awesome, and I hope we can do this again soon. And this is just a woman's input on things, and I'm just happy to be here. So, bye, fuckers.
Yep. And in other news, I got over my addiction to chocolate, marshmallow, and nuts. I won't lie, it's been a rocky road. So I will say for me, thank you again for subscribing. And I will say good night, Jake.